Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning I have two guests. I have Greg Mather and Brian Carson. How you guys doing today?
Good, Kemp. Doing great, Kemp. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's got big news. It was just announced recently that AHF Products has acquired Crossville. I'd like to run through a little background and then get into some details on that acquisition. First, Greg, you're president of Crossville, been there about 8.5 years. And you started your career in the consumer products business with Kimberly-Clark, then moved over to the construction products business with Owens Corning in the insulation area, and you live in Knoxville. Brian, you're no stranger to the business. You're president and CEO of AHF Products. You've been there 5 years. Prior to that, you were with Mohawk as president. Then you were at Armstrong for 9 years, and you have an engineering degree and live in Lancaster. Did I get that right?
You got that right. You've been doing your homework.
Let's talk first about AHF Products. You started the company by acquiring Armstrong's hardwood business, and then almost immediately you turned around and bought LM Flooring, and that enabled you to have a bigger factory over in Cambodia. Then you acquired American OEM. You acquired Parterre. You acquired Armstrong's resilient business that was in bankruptcy, and that took a while. And now this is your fifth acquisition by acquiring Crossville. And the money that you're to use to grow this business is coming from Paceline Equities, their private equity firm, right?
Yeah, so Paceline Equities is our primary investor in the business. They've certainly injected capital into the business.
Okay. Let's talk about Crossville for a minute. It was the first porcelain tile plant to be built in the United States, and it was built in Crossville, Tennessee in 1986. That operation was led by Sven Hoffman at the time. It's a top 5 ceramic tile company, according to Floor Focus's estimates, at around $225 million. Not only do you have the factory, but you also have roughly 28 distributors under the Crossville Tile and Stone name, and you also have an arrangement with Laminum for Gage porcelain tile. And up to this point, the company's been owned by the Kern family owned. So, Greg, why don't you tell us how this came about?
You know, you talked about some of the attributes that we have, and we've been owned by the Kern Group since it started back in 1986, and they've done a great job of helping the company grow, fostering a strong brand. But as they looked forward and wanted the brand to be healthy and the business to be healthy for the next 10 to 20 years, they really thought as though we'd be better paired off with a company that can provide some synergies, especially with a lot of the activities going on in the marketplace. So we initiated a sale process, and we looked for a good partner, and we think that we found one with AHF. There are some really clear synergies with them, with some cross-selling, multi-surface opportunities. We also really like the people that are involved, and we love the fact that they're in flooring and are really passionate about manufacturing. And as you know, Kemp, we need to continue to invest in the innovations and technologies in the tile industry to stay relevant. So we think that we've got a great owner, and we're very excited about the future.
From our standpoint, when we set out with AHF, as you know, you kind of outlined the growth, we never really set out just to be a wood flooring company. We really started as a solid wood company, and almost immediately with LM became sawn and sliced face, and we're the largest American company operating at all in Cambodia. That was a big acquisition for us. But we knew what we wanted to be was more of a full service flooring company where we're providing multiple solutions for the floors. Our retailers and our dealers and the end users use multiple surfaces when they're completing their project in their home or their office or wherever, and we wanted to provide more of the solutions. That was the impetus for the Parterre acquisition as well as the Armstrong acquisition. You know, we really came a very important wood and vinyl business, and the next natural product that we were looking at was porcelain, was tile. We were looking at a couple of things. First is we wanted a company that had a strong American manufacturing footprint. In this world, having a footprint closer to home is a good thing. So all you have to do is read the news every night and realize it's really a fragile world out there. So we really valued the American manufacturing. We're brand-oriented, 14 brands. Crossville gives us 15 brands. It's a gem of a brand. We're not experts in ceramic, in tile. Many of us have experience in it, but we wanted a company that had an enormous amount of expertise and was a well-run company. And Crossville fit that bill. What's neat about Crossville is as big as we are and as big as Crossville is, our customer base is more different than it is the same. There's actually very little overlap. So the Crossville customers often buy their vinyl and wood from other folks. So there's a lot of selling synergies that we can help all of our channel partners, whether they're distributors, retailers, or whatever, grow with AHF and provide a more complete assortment. And the cultures between our business, they're a people-first business, so are we. Very customer-focused, so are we. They're action-oriented and wake up every day to beat the alarm clock just like us. And it was really a close cultural fit. So the rest was just figuring out how to get the deal done, which we concluded about 2 weeks ago. So we're off to the races.
All right. Well, let me just run some numbers from our annual report. You know, in our May issue, we talk about the top 10 companies, and we had AHF Products there at 850, and we have Crossville at 225. So that puts you just overnight at over $1 billion. So congratulations on that. Greg, why do you think this is good for your customer base?
Yeah, I think it's going to be great for both companies. It's going to give us a chance to grow in a way that we couldn't do independently. And I think Brian said it pretty well, that we have one surface or had one surface, and now we have multiple. And we've got a lot of customers that want to partner with us and stay with us and are comfortable with us. And now we can offer them more than we did before. And I think it's going to be the same thing on the AHF side. And I think it's going to be a real win-win situation that really helps the entire business build scale and build the economies needed to really grow and be a power going forward.
So what's the master plan for AHF moving forward?
We look at the market and say, how can we create value for our retail and distribution partners? Because if we can't create value for them, in the long run, we won't create value for ourselves. And I know Crossville looks at the market very much the same way. And getting into an additional product category with our brands, with our relationships. You know, I think we do what we do well, and we do it with not too much overhead in our own business, so we can create a lot of value and sell excellent products at compelling values that people can make money with. And as we look at that, ceramic and tile and porcelain tile and Crossville was the business that was the best next fit for us. 5 businesses in 5 years, the past would predict the future. I'd say you'd see us grow, but we don't want to grow for the sake of growth. We want to grow in places that we believe we create enduring value for our customers and for our channel partners. And this was one of those cases. And when we find the next one, we'll do the next one.
Brian, I don't want to sound like a historian, but if I go back and look at Armstrong about 15 years ago, they owned American Olean, a ceramic tile company, and they were also in the carpet business. So I guess that's the last component you need to add, is a carpet company, right?
Kemp, those are your words, not mine. But yes, Armstrong was in the carpet business for a long time, for sure. We're really delighted. This was very important to the family that owned it, that the business wound up in good hands that would take care of and grow the business. And we got to know the Crossville team well. We got to know the Kern family. And I think they've left it in really good hands, and we're going to grow it for the success of all the folks that work in the business and all of our customers. And what the future brings, time will tell.
All right, guys. Well, congratulations on this big news. Again, been talking to Greg Mather and Brian Carson about AHF Products acquisition of Crossville, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.